You know, I'd be lying to you guys if I said I've never painted in the dark or in the cold before. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, the last couple of days I've just been prepping this engine bay more and more to get it ready for paint. When I came out here this morning, it was super downpouring, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I can't paint today, but I decided to go on a parts run. While I was on my parts run, the rain stopped, the wind stopped, and the skies cleared up. So after I got all the things that I needed, I came back home and decided that I'm going to work on the car a little bit more, which you guys see here. I don't have the hood on, and the hood was put over there where I sanded the underneath of the hood entirely because I want to paint the underneath of the hood the same time I'm painting the engine bay, just so that I can make use of the pint that I got, which if you mix 101 you get about a quart, and I want to utilize all of this. So the hood got primered entirely, and it is ready for paint. The only reason why it's in front of the heater is because I left it outside while I was working on the engine bay, and condensation got on it when the night fell, so it's just drying up over there, but it is ready to rock and roll. So I've been out here for a couple of hours just prepping everything that I needed to be prepped. Like, I sanded down all the hinges while the hood is off. I did the brackets, got those all primered as well. Got the T-bar sanded down and also in primer, all ready for base coat and clear coat. So while I was doing all of that, I was also going to change out the tarp, which is a 10 by 20, but when I unpackaged the new tarp, it was actually 20 by 12, so it's longer, and I didn't know how I was going to secure it on a 10 by 20 frame. So I ended up just using my 9 by 11, and I lapped it underneath just so we can block the holes that was here that was seeping water through, and just blocking this area out where I'm going to be painting so we don't worry about drippage on the new paint. And I also did push the car more forward up about, I don't know, about 3 feet, so we can get the slope of the roof to push water that way instead of this way and then drizzling down over here. So we are ready to paint. That means I'm going to set up right now. Got a new Harbor Freight paint gun. So I have my heater, been sitting here for about 15 minutes now, just kind of getting this air right here warm. We got that masked off, this side as well too. The floor is masked up, and I'm not too worried about like overspray. I work on the driveway so much that eventually it will fade, you know what I mean? But we got the hood back out here, hoping that you know, we can get this done before, you know, the night starts putting condensation all over it again. We have the T-bracket there, we got the bumper support in the front right there, little bulkheads, and I'm pretty much ready. So I have my paint out here. I'm going to be mixing it a 1-to-1 ratio, and probably going to end up using the entire quart. My main focus is putting as much base on the bay first, and then we'll do the hood. I'm using a chopstick. All right guys, so we are wiped down entirely, and we just got the paint in the cup. So right now I'm going to focus on all the tight crevices where it's going to be hard for the paint gun to get into, and then once we have all that covered, then we'll start going with our full first base coat. Let's get to it. So guys, I ended up mixing the entire pint and I got a full quart out of it. So I only filled up half of this cup into the paint gun, and with that we were able to paint the entire engine bay, both the little bulkhead brackets, the T-bar, and the hood. Now I'm pretty stoked about this because we still have half to go, right? And we were able to do a coat and a half because after spraying the bay, the brackets, the bulkheads, the hood, I did still have a little bit of the cup left. So what I did with the rest of that was I went back over the areas that are hard to get, which is all of these guys here, the bulkhead right here, behind the back, behind and inside around the motor mounts, just so we have a good layer already in case we miss it again on the last pass. So the entire engine bay is fully covered. I already have some areas that I need to focus on, like right here. You can see it's still kind of gray because I was fanning from the inside of the engine bay out instead of this way in, so I got to make sure I cover that right there. But my main focus is just all of the areas that you see the most. So once everything goes back in the bay, top of firewall, the towers, motor mount, front radiator support, that's going to be the focus of the areas that I want to make sure the colors are solid and nice and glossy with the clear coat. So if you look over here at the hood, on that same half cup, we were able to entirely cover the framing of the hood, and the center we were able to spray it as well too. But you can see the patches of gray. This is just the T-bar reflection, but you can see the gray that's in the weave because this is the actual weave. So if I want to drown this out to make it solid, like right here, I would have to go really slow and let that paint sink in there. Honestly, I feel like after clear coating the hood, I might just even do the frame only, but I feel like I might just end up painting the center back to black just so it's not a sore eye with the patchiness of the gray and the blue. But we'll figure that out later down the road. But I'm stoked that the entire framing is fully covered, and the second layer is only going to give it that much more thickness of paint to make it a little bit more durable, and the bay itself is looking fire. So right now I'm probably going to give it about 5 more minutes. Paint's already in the gun, and we're going to do the last coat, and then we'll get into the clear. All right guys, so 7:46 and I finished painting the last coat at 7:06. So we've been sitting here a little while just letting the heat kind of make sure everything is nice and dry before we put some clear coat down. And I've already cleaned all of my stuff. I cleaned my guns, the cup, and all of that. And what's left of the base coat, I'm pretty surprised. We have probably, I don't know, a quarter of a pint still, and that's going to be perfect for like if I need to do touch up or whatever the case may be for the engine bay. This is the same shade, so we're just gonna put this away for, I don't know, a later or future need. I could have bombed the hood right here and get rid of those gray, but honestly with my light flash it's actually entirely blue. It's just the weave off the reflection makes it look gray, but it is freaking blue. So that's good, that's good. So I'm gonna put this paint away again for a later time. Probably not gonna put it there because I'll drop it, but anyways, we are almost ready for the clear coat. When I say almost, I meant like I was just eating right now, but we're ready for the clear coat, and I'm gonna mix it up. I believe it's like a 4-to-1. I'm using European clear. Let me show you guys. Got this from my local paint shop, European clear coat, and I do have the activator. This is medium, I think it is medium, and I got to be a little careful with this because it is, I mean, it's not cold, like it's really not cold, but it is obviously not the temperature you're wanting to paint at, right? So got to be very careful to not dunk too much clear because then it'll start running. But I've done this before. Just really control the trigger and have your air pressure set correctly. So this is a what is it, 2 part to 1 mixture, and we have plenty. I think we have about just a little under half, and that's going to be more than enough to do this entire clear coat job here. Yeah, anyways, stoked. I'm really stoked. In a few more minutes we'll get down with work. Let me tell you guys this real quick. Even though we're just mixing paint, make sure you guys wear a filter mask when doing this. Don't be like me and not take your own advice. I'm trying to mix this 1 coat at a time, so I'm not doing like a full quart of mix, because we got a flash in between. I don't want the clear coat to like start drying up, because I know that we did half a cup on the first coat on the base coat. I'm just gonna do about half a cup of clear. That half cup mix right there, man, was just the perfect amount with throttle control. We got the entire engine bay coated down with the first coat of clear coat, the T-bracket, the bulkheads, the hood, the entire center right there, guys. And this thing is looking fire, bro. It's just the first coat, dude, and it's looking freaking fire. I kind of don't even want to put a second coat on it, but I'm still gonna put a second coat on it, and then we're gonna call it there. But damn, guys, look at this. The video does not do it justice at all. I'm surprised that the paint laid down really smooth. Sorry, the clear coat laid down really smooth. Like, there's barely orange peel. I mean, it's there, but it ain't crazy. And that's my goal. Look at this. There's like no freaking, you can't see it on the GoPro, but there's no orange peel there at all. Looks freaking amazing, guys. The second coat, I'm gonna be focusing on, again, the important part that you're gonna see the most, which is the front half of the radiator support, the towers, the top of the firewall, and then the rest obviously is gonna get its second coat. But I'm stoked, man. I'm not worried about the hood. It's underneath the hood. Nobody's gonna really look at it. It's already nice and shiny. You can't see it because it is kind of dark out right now, but probably just gonna do the perimeter, and if I do have leftover paint after doing the bay entirely, we'll put more in the center, but not a priority. I'm super stoked, guys. So this thing has been flashing. I finished at 8:05, so almost 20 minutes now, and in a few moments here we're gonna lay down that second coat. So guys, we are all cleaned up. Everything's all put away. Paint gun is all cleaned, and the engine bay is looking fire. It's already like tacked to the touch. Obviously I'm not gonna touch it, but like based off the tape, it's probably gonna be dry by the time I close up for tonight. So everything has already been unmasked other than the windshield. I'm not worried about the windshield because that thing is super cracked anyways, but everything that was taped up is taken off so we don't create a hard line with the clear coat. Everything that was taped down at the underlining of the wheel well, the suspension area is all taken out again, just so we don't have a hard line with the clear coat. So man, this thing is starting to come out freaking amazing. Now I will tell you that I compared this paint to the fender and it is a lot darker, but hear me out, check this out first. Oh, it's not too bad on camera. but it is old paint versus new paint. So I mean, not shabby. But let me tell you, the EF Sedan, I'm not sure the original color to this car, like the name of the color of this car. If you guys have seen my buddy's EF Sedan, Joel's EF Sedan's a 10-second car, and it was a street car turned into a full race car, and his sedan has the deeper blue than the superior blue that you would typically see on like the EF hatches or the wagons. The EF Sedan blue is, his car looks more like this blue. The blue that the car came in looks more like my brother's wagon blue. So when I got the paint mixed up and I shot it, I'm like, okay, well, new paint versus old paint, it's gonna look more fresher, it's gonna look a little more darker, but it's like almost not close to what the color of the car actually is. It looks like the other blue that the EF Sedan comes in, Joel's car. So what I'm saying is, when I originally was given this car from the homie Miller, shout out Miller for this car, I thought it was the darker blue, and then when I went to go pick it up with the homie Isai, it was the lighter blue. But I was like, okay, maybe it's just faded because it's been sitting in the sun. It's been sitting for like 8 or 9 years. But like when I look at the door jamb, it's actually the lighter blue. So at the end of the day, the paint is the color that I would have wanted the blue. Other than the light blue, I would have been okay with the light blue. Sorry for the jibber jabber. The color looks freaking awesome. And guys, we did this like not rushed. We did this just kind of an out of impulse, middle of the night, dark, a little cold. Harbor Freight paint gun, clear coat from when I painted La Ponda last year. Valspar 1 pint mixed with reducer, made it 1 quart, was enough for 2 coats of the bay and the hood. Duplicolor, I probably would never use this again. Duplicolor surface primer. I did this for the hood just to get it all nice and uniform, so we don't have to, you know, get a darker shade of blue because it was black before. So we got it sprayed gray and then we painted it blue. You can see the texture on here because I didn't even bother sanding it down. Honestly, this is a primer surfacer. It's a little thick, and it is a high build. You can see it right there. I didn't even bother sanding it down because, like I said, who's really going to stare at the hood anyways, right? But for the most part, got it primered, got it base coat and clear coat. I'm super stoked how this thing is starting to turn out. The Envision is coming to life. My notebook, there's only like 3 or 4 more items left on it, and we did get my rack and pinion and my tie rods right there yesterday, so that's all going to be going back to the subframe so we can get that plopped back in, and then all of the engine components can finally come off the stand together and back into the car. Whew, that was one breath. But anyways, there's not much more to show you guys. We sprayed the bay. We did just that in this video. We're going to keep it just that in this video, and I guess you guys gonna have to stick around and see everything else that's gonna follow with the build. So I am gonna wrap it up right here, guys. If you want to get out there and learn how to spray paint Harbor Freight stuff, you can even use off-the-shelf AutoZone or O'Reilly's paint shop paint and just practice there without spending a ton of money. That little quart right there was like 70 bucks, and you got to buy the reducer and all the other stuff, clear coat and all. It's going to cost you a lot of money, but at the end of the day, those quality is going to give you a good result if you really take your time to, you know, prep everything and do it all right first time around. But practice never hurts, right? So anyways, so I am going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the progress update on the EF Sedan build, guys. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for everything that's going to be going back into the car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I need to get new S1's apparel because I've been destroying my clothes just getting down to work. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.